Hello and welcome to Under the Umbrella. I'm WDTN Plus meteorologist Melissa Barrington. And on the show, we try to highlight various aspects of weather, and topics here are far and wide ranging. So today we are actually going to talk to two separate people. They are both Miami Valley Astronomical Society members. Our first guest is going to be David Orth, president, and our second guest is going to be Steve Hildenbrandt, and he will be joining us as well. He will be with us for the second half of the conversation. So first, we would like to bring in David Orth. You are the president of the Miami Valley Astronomical Society. Can you tell me a little bit about the society, how long it's been around? I had never heard of it until somebody actually sent me an email about you guys. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Oh, sure thing. Well, it's like we've been around since about 1957, incorporated in this form in terms of MVAS. So we've been around about 68 years. Some of our members believe that there's a kind of a historical DNA pedigree that goes all the way back to Colonel Edward Deeds, who helped start the first Dayton Astronomical Society. So things had changed up during that time, and I think things had broken up, but when it finally reconstituted, it was back in 1957, and we've been here since.
So it's well established.
Yeah. I mean, it's like there's been a huge history with the club in terms of, we always started out with focusing like on amateur telescope making. But, we had a big hand in building and designing the Apollo telescope, the big 50 centimeter that's currently down at the Boonshoff Museum.
Really?
A lot of that was timed with our members and also with the museum staff, just because, just with the Apollo program and things like that.
Wow, that's really interesting. Never knew that.
Yeah.
So how many members do you have?
Right now we're hitting about 171.
Okay.
So we have a very broad range of people, from family to individual members.
So, and what's the age range? I mean, do you have families like that bring in little kids to come to some of your events and all the way on up, or
potentially, yeah.
Is it multi-generational?
Multi-generational. I mean, right now it's like one of the challenges when it comes to the amateur astronomy hobby is it's graying quite a bit. So people get interested in later in life for whatever reason with retirement. But one of our objectives is to bring that back. It's like we're trying to get the younger crowd interested in. So, we'll have families that have very young kids. We have a couple student members, parents not necessarily involved, but they'll bring the kids out. But then also we have some very, like I said, active parents in general, just that will, they participate and they have fun with the kids and help the kids learn as, they're expanding their horizons with, whether it be through STEM schools and things like that.
So what type of events or what do you guys do?
Well, fundamentally, it's like our primary focus is public education. As things stand, I mean, we are a 501c3 public charity. So, things like that, we can accept tax donations, things like that. But the education is, because of that, is our primary mission to expand out amateur astronomy, things like that. So we typically will hold stargazes where we're obligated. Well, we're actually not obligated, but it's part of the partnership we have with John Bryan State Park and ODNR, where we hold 8 stargazes a year. That brings in people to the park, but it's also, John Bryan State Park is also fairly nice skies as far as being dark, and you can have some great visibility things out there.
So we have some video here of a recent event. Can you explain this one? There's quite a few people out at this event.
Yeah, this is this stargaze that happened this past weekend on it was the 2nd, and yeah, that's kind of our typical setup where we have 15 or so members that will bring out their own telescopes. By no means do the public need to come out and bring their own stuff. It's like there's plenty of stuff there for people to look at, and there's a huge diversity between binoculars and, like I said, big telescopes like this big Celestron that's being visible on the screen here. And essentially it's just, as things get dark and as, like I said, as the objects start appearing out, it's like, all the different members will be pointing to different objects and then engaging with the public, because then at that point people can look at the moon, look at the planets, or, look at some of the deeper sky objects like some of the star clusters.
So these telescopes are big. I mean, and so these are owned by individuals, right?
Yes. Yeah, these are by individual members, yes.
And so then they're sharing to folks, and this is open to the general public?
Yeah, this is free for the public. They can kind of come out and, like I said, and just enjoy it on their own time. And yeah, like I said, it's free whenever we do have it at Stargaze.
So
Weather's been a challenge.
yeah, the weather has been pretty rough this year so
Yeah.
far, I would say. Have you noticed, like, when you do these events, are you particularly looking at a particular event when you plan these events to go out? Like, are you looking like you want to look at the moon one time, or do you want to look at a particular constellation? Is there anything, rhyme or reason, when these events occur at all?
Typically, we kind of mix things up.
Hmm.
We'll try to get it to like where there's a first quarter moon, where then around sunset the moon's up, because it's like I said, even though people see it every night, the minute people look through the moon through a telescope, it's a wow factor. To see the Terminator, the constellations. That's something that, just like I said, it makes everybody incredible. Planets are always a big deal. Right now, they're kind of down on the horizon. So, but as I think when the fall comes up, things they'll start to become more readily visible for people to see. And that's something that's always, when you see a little kid go, "Wow!" Seeing that like Saturn's rings. That's always just a chill, and that's what makes a lot of this worth it in the end. Um, but like I said, yeah. So I mean, we'll try to definitely hit during the big highlight, but then sometimes too, we'll wait till there's like a third quarter moon when about sunset. It's like the moon is down, so you'll have actually fairly dark skies. So you can actually point out some of the more deeper sky objects, some of the star clusters, some of the nebula, some of the things that are kind of harder to see.
So is everyone at the in the society, is everybody an amateur, or are there any professional astronomers?
Well, actually, we do have a couple professional as far as we have one that's working their way through Ohio State and everything, and they're still a member. And actually, they started out as a student member,
Hmm.
so that's something that's very proud. But primarily, it's like everybody's just an amateur.
Okay.
They just kind of have a passion for it, where they've always loved it, and sometimes it's a great hobby for me. Like I said, as an engineer, there's a lot of technical aspects that makes it an attractive hobby, and like I said, just being under the night sky is just fabulous.
So what got you interested in astronomy?
It's always started when I was young,
Yep.
just between you know learning about some of the stars and just seeing up there in like science fiction. But certainly, growing up, the space shuttle Challenger explosion was kind of a seminal thing. Um, and then when you were able to see like Voyager 2 go by some of the big planets, that's just really did fire the imagination and everything.
So what's some of the most exciting things? What do you like to look at when you look up when you stargaze?
I like really doing naked eye just through the binoculars,
Uh-huh.
um, just because it's so easy to do.
Hmm.
Um, Even though sometimes maybe it's not the most fantastic image that you'd probably see something like from the Hubble, it's just the thought that, if you're looking at the Andromeda galaxy, those photons of light have been traveling, 2 million light years away, and it's getting entered through the binoculars and it's hitting your eyeball. That's something that just, that does kind of blow your mind when you think about it. Um, it as far as like I said, besides just some of the just the observing side of things, just the science in general is usually always fascinating. I'm always attracted to learning more about like exoplanets, just because that's what's starting to become very discovered readily, and like I said, searching for that next possible Earth out there. That's something that's just exciting to see. To know that there's possibility for other life out there.
Um, so what what else would you what's the easiest thing for folks to see? I assume it's the moon and the stars, right? So what else?
Definitely the stars, the planets, the moon, definitely. Um, but as much as a surprise, it's like there's a class of objects called the Messier objects, which is just it's a catalog of some of the brighter deep sky objects as well. That's is very accessible to people to try. And the other thing that we kind of stress as a club, it's by no means do you have to have a telescope to see these things. If you get under dark enough skies, which can be a challenge here, some of these things are visible. But if you take a pair of binoculars out, there's you can still see the thing. Those objects might be just very dim,
Mhm.
fuzzy, but you're seeing it fundamentally, and it's like that's something that's can be kind of a profound thing.
So what do you say to somebody who doesn't really know much about astronomy, doesn't really know anything more than just looking up in the sky? What would you tell them? What are they going to learn if they come out to one of your events?
Well, geez, that's actually kind of a very broad question. 'Cause I mean, it's like typically it's like when they kind of come out, it's like we always kind of point out the various constellations
Hmm.
and some of the uniquer star patterns that are out there. Like right now, some of the brightest ones is like the Summer Triangle, and that's a very kind of a busy part of the sky, which includes fairly smaller constellations that have a lot of fun objects in it as well. So it's kind of that's where it's kind of a this is very much it's like peeling back the onion or
Uh-huh.
very much layered, and it's like we always try to get people talking about that aspect of what you're currently seeing and what it is, and what this means in terms of this object's like 100,000 light years away, or if it's a galaxy, this is a million light years away.
And that's so hard to comprehend what that means.
Yeah, but like I said, but there's times you can people do get it in the end. That's the other part that if you can calm take it easy and explain it to folks, they do actually get it in the end. So it's a very approachable hobby fundamentally.
So, where can folks find more information about your events and when is your next event?
Um, Pretty much you can go to our Facebook, search Miami Valley Astronomical Society on Facebook. We also have a Facebook or a website, www.mvas.org.
Okay.
Our next, I believe our next Stargaze outage on Brian is going to be on the 13th of September. And again, weather pending, it's like it's going to be a Saturday night, and yeah, that's going to be free for the public to come on out and hope to enjoy.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We are going to take a short break. And when we come back, we are going to be joined by Steve Hildenbrandt, who is going to talk more about the night sky here in the Miami Valley. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to Under the Umbrella. I'm WDTN Plus meteorologist Melissa Barrington, and today we are talking about the night sky across the Miami Valley, how you can get involved in this with the Miami Valley Astronomical Society, and we talked to David Orth in our first half of the show, and in our second half, we are joined by Steve Hildenbrandt, and he is the outreach coordinator for the Astronomical Society, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so you're going to tell me more about your events and what we can see in the night sky. So, since it is the month of August, so let's go ahead and start by talking about the Perseid meteor shower. It's peaking coming up here next week, and
It's ongoing right now.
yeah, it started in July, right?
It started mid to late July.
Okay.
Goes until the end of August. It peaks around the morning of the 13th of August.
Okay.
And the best viewing opportunities are from a dark location, as dark as you can get, away from all artificial light. That includes your phones. And facing away from the moon. The moon's going to be kind of a bit of an intruder on the night sky during this Perseids. And there's no way getting around the moon. So you can still see meteors. You won't see as many.
Okay, yeah, because isn't there a full moon Saturday morning?
The
I think
full
it is,
moon
Friday
is
night.
actually, Saturday morning, 3-something in the morning.
Okay.
But it extends obviously all the day into the next night. And for several nights over, as it starts to wane, it's still a very, very bright, the brightest object in the night sky.
So is this one of the longer meteor showers that we see during the year? There's other popular ones, but this one is the one that you hear about.
You hear
usually
about it
most.
because it's got long, bright, long-tail meteors, very fast-moving meteors, multicolored meteors.
Oh.
And it does last a little longer than most of them as we go through the remnants of the comet Swift-Tuttle's tail on its 133-year orbit around the sun. So we're going through a debris pattern, and we're just lined up nicely to have meteors as a result of that.
Okay, so we have a graphic here of what folks here can see. Can you explain some of this to us?
Okay, the meteor showers are named after the constellation where the radiant is located. So in this case, the radiant is located in the constellation Perseus.
Okay.
You don't necessarily want to look at that constellation while you're looking for meteors. You want to look 45 to 90 degrees away from that radiant point to have your best opportunity. In this case, try to look in the direction so the moon is behind you. And then just sit back in a zero gravity lounger and relax.
So during the peak, how many meteors can you expect to see typically?
Typically, you can see as many as 50 to 100 if you're in a truly dark location. In the area around either John Bryan or Caesar Creek, you'll see fewer, but you'll still see quite a few. Because of the moon, you'll see probably very few, but the ones you do see will more than likely be spectacular.
Okay, so how long do they last?
How long does an individual meteor last?
Yeah, like, well, when you're looking at the shower, like
Like that.
so it's basically you blink and you can miss it, huh?
If you blink, you can miss it.
Okay.
Some longer ones have lasted maybe a second, but they're very short,
Okay.
very short-lived.
Do they, and like, so during the shower, like even like when we're during daylight, is it still going on? Like it doesn't just,
It's still
it doesn't
going on,
stop.
yes.
Yeah,
yes.
we just can't see it
We
because
just can't see it.
it's daylight.
Yes.
Okay. Do you need any special equipment to watch?
Good eyesight helps. No, you don't want equipment. You don't want to be looking through a telescope. You don't want to be looking through binoculars because that narrows your field of view.
Okay.
You want to sit there and relax, sit back so you can see as large an expanse of the sky as popular. I'm sorry, I move my hands around a lot.
You're fine. That's good.
So you don't want equipment to watch them. If you want to photograph them, obviously you need a camera. You probably want a pretty wide angle lens on your camera. You want a very fast lens on your camera. And then you want to take, if you're not tracking on a tracking mount, you'll want to take thousands of photographs, a couple seconds, continuously, all night long. And then you have to scan through those and look for the ones that may or may not have captured a meteor. If you have a tracking mount and can get to a dark location away from any lights, you can track for longer periods of time, get some background image that you're tracking on, and maybe check meteor trails as they go through. Difficult, not necessarily easy for amateurs to do. It's difficult for semi-professionals to do. We have people in the club that are going to be out there trying to capture meteors, and if they do, great. If they don't, they tried.
So, like with the aurora borealis, you can capture that on your cell phone. Is this something that you can't do on your cell phone because it's so far away, or can you get a picture?
If you want to take 1,000 images over the course of the night,
right.
you
You
may
can
get
use up
lucky.
all your memory
but
on
no,
your phone.
it's not the aurora borealis are captured on the cell phone because of the colors that the cell phone is sensitive to. Doesn't really apply in the case of meteors. Here we just have a brief flash of light, and if you capture it, you capture it. If you don't, then you missed it.
Okay, so this is something that if you want to see it, you got to get outside and
get outside and just enjoy being outside in the dark.
And so the later in the night, the better.
Because of the way the Earth's rotation and the speed at which we encounter through the atmosphere these meteors, 3 o'clock in the morning is normally considered prime time for a meteor shower.
Okay, and what direction do folks look?
Well, I would first find where the radiant point is, and then I would go 90 degrees off from that, set my chair up, and just relax.
So what else? What's your favorite thing to look at in the night sky?
Oh, my.
So many, probably.
I like to look at a lot of things. I like double stars. I like open clusters. I like globular clusters. It kind of depends on what I'm using. If I'm just using my naked eye, I'm perfectly happy trying to trace out constellations and the major stars in the constellations. If I got binoculars, I'll be looking for open clusters or globular clusters. If I'm using a telescope, I'll look for maybe fainter objects, galaxies, things like that.
So do you have your own large telescope, or what kind do you have?
I'm not actually much of a telescope person.
Okay.
I have a couple small telescopes, but I probably do 95% of what I do with binoculars.
Really?
And I have several pair of binocs.
You have a favorite brand?
Local plug, if I can do that. I have almost, all of my binocs are from Oberwerk, which is just down the street.
Okay. Didn't know. Learn something new every day. So are they special? Do they have a certain zoom lens?
They're not zoom. They're different types for different tasks. I wear a pair around my neck, which I'm using to do some initial aiming. Then I have a larger pair that is too heavy to wear around my neck, which is on a tripod. The ones around my neck have a 5-degree field of view. That's how big my soda straw is. The one on the tripod has a 2-degree field of view. So I kind of start star hopping and aiming. It's not on a geo tracker, not on a GPS tracker. It's all purely manual aiming.
So do you also photograph?
I do take some photographs, but I'm a lousy astrophotographer. So
that's very specialized, isn't it?
Very specialized. However, technology is out there now making it easier and easier for people that are not really good at it to do astrophotography. The C-Star equipment from ZWO is making some level of astrophotography easily accessible to just about anybody.
Okay, so you gave us a look here at some pictures. Can we pull them up and
Sure.
let's go through? You want to
Okay.
tell me a little bit about some of these?
This is just a picture that Erin, a club member, took of the Aurora Borealis
Mm-hmm.
down near Caesar Creek. And she just was out on a dark night location. The aurora were active, and so she snapped a picture and sent it in.
It's beautiful. Some of these pictures are so amazing. I mean, that looks like it's almost a raining color to me.
If you happen to see the Aurora Borealis in May or October, when they were most visible here in the Miami Valley area, it did look like it was raining color. It was phenomenal. I did not believe we could have that intense aurora at this latitude. I think of this as being, going north into Canada or Alaska or
Yeah.
going over to Finland. I was absolutely flabbergasted by the level of intensity of these aurora.
So is this what they saw with the naked eye, or is this?
This is with a camera,
camera-
but this is probably a 2 or 4 second exposure with the camera.
Uh-huh.
But you could see the color.
Oh, yeah.
In May, Dave and I and a guy named Thomas left our club meeting at the end of the meeting, went up to Huber Heights, found a parking lot which had obnoxious lights in it, and we said, "Oh, we got clouds. Oh, why are the clouds green?" Clouds parted, and we realized why the clouds were green. We were looking at curtains of light, of energized particles, and it was just amazing.
That is amazing. Let's see what else we've got here. You've got some really amazing pictures. What about this?
This is a dark nebula. I think Jack Bernstein took this picture, another club member. It looks like it's near the Dark Shark Nebula. That's about all I can tell you about it.
Okay.
It's just a pretty picture. Oh, this is an example of light pollution. There was an area that I used to go out, and it had roads, but it had no houses whatsoever. And I just kind of sat up there and enjoy the dark sky. It's only a few miles from my house. And then during one of the aurora events, I went out there, and there are now houses there.
Oh,
And for some reason, they like to illuminate their trees and the outside of their houses for some reason.
so then we're talking about light pollution,
Light
right?
pollution.
This one just looks heavenly to me. I mean, this
This
picture
is-
is amazing.
This is another dark nebula. I think this is, again, Jack Bernstein that took this picture. And again, I can't tell you off the top of my head what it is, but it is a beautiful picture.
It's amazing that you can see this much detail from here on Earth, and we're looking so far out. I mean,
It is, but I have to caveat that. This is a photograph that has got thousands of images stacked on top of each other. There may be 5 or 6 hours of integration in those type of images.
Okay.
Your eye's not going to catch that.
Okay, well, thank you for the clarification. I appreciate that. What about this one?
This is probably taken with a sea star. It's a comet. I'm not sure what comet it was. Probably Neowise, maybe. But it's a comet picture, and they're not hard to take. We get comets hopefully about every year. They're not big flashy comets, but if you know where to look, you can usually spot them. Shinshinshan, the one back in October, I was able to spot easily from my yard. Neowise I could spot from my yard. Try to go to a darker location to try to take some pictures, but they're there. You just have to know where to look. And don't expect something blazing and moving across the night sky. It's kind of fixed in place from
Do
night to
you
night.
go out every night?
Not every night. I go out for a few minutes most nights, just for a few minutes, see what's up.
It's always weather dependent, right?
Always weather dependent, yes.
Do you get frustrated when the weather's bad and then there's something that you really want to see?
Yes.
Have you ever made a special trip somewhere to go to see something?
Oh, that's embarrassing. Yes, I've driven to, in June, I went to Bryce Canyon for a combination of Astronomical League convention, but also because Bryce Canyon has dark skies. And from there, I went into Oregon and California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Wyoming, all just tracking dark skies.
That's amazing. Well, this is definitely a really fun hobby that you have going on here. And I would like to thank you for joining me on this edition of Under the Umbrella. And thank you for watching on this edition of Under the Umbrella. We'd like to thank both David and Steve for joining me today. And thank you for joining us on this edition. If you have a topic that you are interested in, please shoot me an email at undertheumbrella@wdtn.com. Have a great day.